Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to my channel, Supreme Medium Diviner. If you are returning back as a subscriber, thank you for coming back. If this is your first time here, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get these videos that I'm going to bring to you that has so much knowledge. I'm unpacking a lot of untruths, and you're going to love it here. It's just the best thing that you can do for yourself, okay? This video today that we're going to be discussing is how to remove the possession of Jesus. If you have been saved in the Christian church and been baptized, you indeed have a possession on you. And for people who have come into their spiritual awakening, no longer want to follow the Christian doctrine and are ready to walk away, they do walk away. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that you still have to remove the possession, or you've done yourself no service, no justice, okay? So this is what this video is about today. So stay tuned if you need to remove the possession of Jesus in you, okay? So before we get started and go into this video, if you do not subscribe to me, please, by all means, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can get notified when I drop a video. If you feel compelled to and this video has interested you once you have watched it in its entirety, go ahead and like the video. And by all means, please, please, please go ahead and share this video so other people can get this information and know what to do if they need to remove a possession, okay? So with all that, getting all that out the way, let's go ahead and jump right into this, because this is a very serious, a very sensitive, and a very important subject, okay? So a lot of times when people grow up in the church, they are taught that they are to give their heart to Jesus. And by doing this, they need to get saved, okay? And what happens is nobody goes in detail about what's really happening when you're doing this ritual to receive the love of Jesus, okay? So I'm going to break that down for you, okay? And the reason that I'm making this video is because, like I was saying, when you go into your spiritual awakening, and a spiritual awakening is when you realize that your spirit has been dormant, and all of a sudden it's like this spark becomes alive in you. And you have all these questions, and you're just like, you really want to learn yourself. So you start experiencing things that you've never experienced before. And people who have been saved, they find themselves ready to walk away from Christianity and ready to walk away from Jesus, okay? So it's not as easy as just walking away because you have been possessed. So let's go over possession, okay? And I have my notes up here just to make sure that I don't miss anything. So just bear with me if you see me looking over. So anywho, so first of all, what is a possession? A possession is a state of being controlled by a spirit or a daemon. And if you don't subscribe to me, then you're probably like wondering, what is that term? And daemon is the Greek way that you say demon, okay? So a possession is when a person is controlled by a daemon or a spirit. And over here we say daemon, not demon, okay? So, first of all, now that we got that out the way, we need to determine, who was Jesus? Was he a spirit or was he a daemon? So, Jesus is a daemon, okay? And I'm not going to go into on this video on how I know he's a daemon, but if you want to know, there's a clickable link in the description for you to go to the video that I explain how he is a daemon, okay? So if you have questions about that, go back to that video to get clarification, okay? So I'm telling you right now, Jesus is a daemon, okay? So what happens is that in order for him to possess you, there are requirements. So when you're in a church, the requirements that they have for you to be saved are confess with your mouth and believe it in your heart, okay? You must say that Jesus died and rose on the cross to save you of your sins. And you must say that you believe this with all of your heart, okay? The possession does not work if you are not able to verbally say those words. That is why they reiterate that so much in the church, okay? You have to be able to say those words in order for the possession to work, okay? Once you have confessed, like they say, confess with your mouth, and you believe in your heart, you then will go through, most churches in Christianity will have you go through a series of classes. And this is done to make sure that you have a full understanding of what you're getting yourself into, okay? That must be done as well. Now, once you have completed these courses in the church, you are now ready for the final step, which is baptism, okay? Baptism is when your body is dipped in a pool of water and you come up again. And what they say is that you have been born again. That means that the old you is dead, the new you has risen. Okay, that's what that symbolizes. So that's what needs to be done. So let me tell you what happens when you do these things in order to get saved. Let's go over that. Okay, so when a person gets saved, these are things that happen. You sell your soul. Your soul is given to Jesus. Once you confess with your mouth, believe in your heart, then you say those things and believe in your heart, and then you go down in the baptism water, you come back up. Jesus has fully taken over you, okay? He's taken over you. You have been fully possessed. Okay, the way that he's taken over you is the heart, okay? You have to believe in your heart. So the heart is the soul. So that's what I mean by you have sold your soul to Jesus, okay? So once you believe in your heart and you go down in that water, what happens is it's symbolic. Your heart, your soul is tucked away, it's put in a sunken place. And when you come back up, you now have the heart of Jesus. He has possessed you. You have the soul of Jesus is a part of you, okay? That's what you have, okay? So with that being said, there are certain things that you have to do to keep this possession. So you have to take communion on first Sunday. Communion on first Sunday represents his body. The cracker represents his body. The wine represents, or the juice represents his blood. You have to pray to him often. You have to give tithes and offerings. And you also have to commit to bringing more souls to Jesus, okay? So, with that being said, that is how you keep the possession going. So, what happens when you don't do these things, okay? This is what happens. You're not consistent. You stop taking communion. You haven't been praying. You haven't been reading the Bible. You haven't been talking to other people about Jesus. You're just not letting your light shine. Jesus is not shining through you. So what typically happens is that you start to question everything that you were told, okay? Questions start to come up. And you start to realize that, you know, something's just not right. This just isn't myself, okay? This just isn't me. You start to recognize that this is not you. And that's a good thing. So when you start to recognize that this is not you, that's when you're coming into your spiritual awakening. Your spirit is starting to be awakened, and that spirit is trying to resurrect. That means it's trying to come back up again. Because remember, when you went down in the water, you died and you came back up another soul, okay? But that soul is still in you because you're physically living, so it's just tucked away. So it's still there, okay? So with that being said, you have the opportunity for your soul to resurrect. Now, the question is that a lot of people come up against when this starts to happen. And mind you, this happens with everybody. Nobody's exempt. This is where it gets tricky. Everybody will not hear their soul trying to come back up. They will hear it, but ignore it. So everybody will not answer that. So for the people who decide to answer, who decide to go forward, who decide to realize that, you know, something's not right. This is not me. I got to get back to myself. This is who this video is for. I'm getting ready to tell you how you get back to yourself. Okay, so once you decide that, hey, what I've been doing, it doesn't feel right. I have a lot of questions. It's not making sense. It's just not me. I think I'm going to step away. I want to step away. We're not talking about lukewarm, have one foot in the church and one foot out. We're talking about people who have decided to completely come away from Christianity and work on themselves, work on their spirit, okay? This is what's going to have to happen, okay, for the possession to be removed. First thing, you need to start doing ancestral worship. Ancestral worship is the number one thing. You have to get your ancestors who are already in you, okay? You have to bring them back to you, okay? You have to let them know that you're here, you're ready to listen to them, come back, come help me, okay? And you do that by doing ancestral worship. And you have to call upon your ancestors. I will do a full video on that later, so stay tuned for that, okay? Ancestral worship. Once you have done ancestral worship, then you need to create an ancestral altar, an altar for your ancestors. You also need to give offerings to your ancestors, okay? You need to do those things. You also, as well, need to get knowledge of self. That means you need to look at the history of your ethnicity. You need to look at your lineage, your family history, where you come from. You need to constantly be doing research. You need to relearn everything again. It means you need to be doing research on history when it comes to religion. Even look up, where did Christianity come from? Once you know truth and you have knowledge, this helps you be able to see your true self as well. Here's another thing that needs to happen. When you start doing ancestral worship, what's going to happen is your true self is going to come up even more. This is called shadow work. You cannot shy away from shadow work. This is very important. Shadow work is what's going to filter everything out that did not belong to you, okay? It's going to clean you up, okay? And we're constantly doing shadow work. You have to be able to do that because it's taking everything out that does not belong to you, and your true self is coming back. So make sure that you do shadow work. Do not shy away from that. That's going to be a very important step in removing this possession, okay? Now, once you have done these things, mind you, you have built a relationship with your ancestor, right? You guys are communicating. You have strengthened your intuition so you can hear what your ancestor needs, hear what they're saying. Now, here comes the final part. You're going to hear a call, okay, of what you need to be doing on this earthly realm. So before you got here and got saved and all that kind of good stuff, in the spirit realm, you decided on a job. You said, I'm coming to earth to do something, okay? And your ancestors were going to be the ones that were going to help you remember what you had to do. But, guess what happened? We got lost in the sauce, and we did not do ancestral worship when we had hit puberty. So therefore, we're starting it when we're doing our spiritual awakening. So here they come now. You're ready. You have a call. They're telling you, look, this is what you're supposed to be doing, okay? Once you hear that call, it's very important that you answer that call. When you answer that call and you start practicing what it is, the job that you're supposed to be doing, that is when the possession has been removed. You answered the call. You're doing your job, okay? The possession is gone, okay? Jesus can no longer possess you, okay? Because you're doing what you were supposed to do, what your spirit was set to do when you came on this earth, okay? So, with that being said, you have to make sure that you follow all of those things in order to hear your call. Hearing your call is the number one thing that's going to ensure that that possession is gone. And the reason why that's the number one thing is because you have a call to action, okay? You're doing what you're supposed to do, not what somebody else is doing, not what you were doing under the possession, doing the job that you set forth to do when you decided to come here, okay? That means that you have elevated, your spirit has resurrected, and this is actually you, okay? All right. So with all that being said, I hope that helped you guys understand how to get rid of the possession of Jesus if you have been saved and baptized in Christianity. And again, go ahead and subscribe to me. If you do not subscribe to me, hit the bell so you can notify when I drop a video. Please, if this video was informative, if you got something out of it, please like it. And by all means, share it. Let's get it circulated, okay? I loved dropping this knowledge for y'all. And I hope that you guys come back to my channel. And we'll be talking again soon.